I know you guys must think I'm crazy being live on Facebook, and I continue to have to struggle with this silly computer. But that's what computers are about, right? Okay, so Camille, you asked the question about muscle cramps. Actually, you are very much a part of my conversation about learning, about being determined to get a Physi-Mag that was my own label. So I worked really hard at getting one that I could trust, and you were one of the reasons why I originally found that. It took me a lot of years to find it. The Physi-Mag is something to take instead of Natural Calm. I really think that when we have muscle cramps, of course, Blue Bonnet's magnesium, potassium bromelain is good too for someone that feels like it might be a potassium issue also. Let's identify the difference. If somebody just has muscle cramps and they've never had any issue with high blood pressure, then they may be having muscle cramps based on, it could just be a magnesium issue. And that's what I'd look for first. But if they have high blood pressure and muscle cramps, then I think the Blue Bonnet magnesium, potassium bromelain is a better approach. I hope that makes sense. I really like that Physi-Mag because it turns out that you can't have high blood pressure, diabetes, or Alzheimer's if you have enough magnesium. So it only makes sense that you would want to do a magnesium every night at bedtime. Actually, I feel so much better since I started doing that every night. Okay, every night. Helps me sleep better too. Camille, is that what you were thinking about? I do really like the magnesium, potassium bromelain by Blue Bonnet also. Be sure and get the dose from us though. It matters the dose that you take, okay? All right. About the eczema, I'm going back to that for a second. So first of all, you eliminate the foods that cause it. And second of all, I really, really like the eczema product by Newton. There's a pro one which is stronger, but there's one over the counter which also helps too. Y'all, we must be doing something really right because the computer really tries to keep cutting me off. And I see that light over my head, and Alex said, make sure the light's not over your head. And it is. Okay. But here I am, guys. I'm willing to just, let you throw another ball at me. All right, Miss Jasmine. Okay, random high blood pressure, random erratic heartbeat. The answer I got was that baby must have been sitting funny. Any suggestions? Okay, honey. I actually, Aunt Rayanne and I had a conversation about this and decided that's probably what it was. Okay? I think that you probably can realize that that probably is what it is, because that's what Rayanne and I both thought. Okay? If they didn't think there was anything wrong and you were at the hospital, then that probably is okay. Okay? They weren't concerned, right? The fact that you sent me a text earlier that said a little personal stuff about everything, not being right today, that I remember thinking to myself, this is kind of the way it goes on the first pregnancy, the first time. You do kind of get all those feelings in the vagina. So I'm glad to know that it wasn't anything serious, okay? Okay. All right, baby, but I know that they're telling you that it's not, that you're already dilated, but just remember, I know I must sound like a naysayer. I just want to keep telling you not to think that due date is definitely the due date, okay? Because, well, anyway, we won't go there. But I'm glad to know you're okay, and I think you probably really are okay. So just try to calm down and realize that they're not concerned, and so therefore you probably shouldn't be either. Camille, could you please pray for Jasmine? Okay, Camille said, can anything be done and the lining of your stomach is gone? A friend of mine has a serious... Yes. And I just got a new product that we just made. We just made an L-glutamine with a sweet basil label. L-glutamine actually repairs the lining of the colon. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Of course, the stomach too. I should have said stomach. But I actually have 4 thank you notes from people with Crohn's disease. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, Jasmine says, thank y'all. Love you too, Camille. Okay, so the L-glutamine is what I would say, Camille, to your friend. The L-glutamine, and of course, you know it does a lot of other things. The main thing that I like that it does is that it heals, that it stops cravings for sugar. Gosh, I have so many wrinkles because of that light over my head. Alex told me not to do that. But anyway, back to more important things, okay? Blood pressure. My favorite blood pressure product is still Michael's blood pressure factors, and in pretty high doses. But ask me about how to take it, because it matters what blood pressure medicine you're taking, and it matters how often you're taking that blood pressure medicine. Okay, and you can take the Michael's right on top of it. Okay. All right. What else? Jasmine and Camille, y'all appear to be the only ones talking, so everybody must have gotten frustrated with me. Tammy, are you still there and just not talking? Okay. Alicia says I sounded like a Smurf or something. I didn't remember what she said I sounded like, but it was really weird. Okay. All right, guys. All right, I'm going to leave you early if you don't ask me a question soon. Okay. All right. Y'all better ask. I hate to go off early because I said I'd be on until 7, but y'all aren't talking. Alicia, has anyone else called in a question? Does anybody have a question? This is so weird. Y'all always have a million questions. Where's everybody in California? Where's everybody in Texas? Okay, leg cramps. Well, we had that one just a minute ago, but it is definitely the Fizzy Mag. And Jazz, you can take that now, and it's very important. But you couldn't take that in the early parts of your pregnancy because it would actually relax the uterus also. But you could use some of that right now. That's a great idea, period. Needless to say, don't give yourself diarrhea, but do enough. Severe middle of the night, hot iron on my calf. Oh, Jasmine, that's so important. It's all about the magnesium. So make sure that you're doing the Fizzy Mag. Jazz, I'm not sure that you have the Fizzy Mag. So use up whatever natural calm you got left and then come get the Fizzy Mag. But you know, I was really hyper about you not doing it right up until now. And now you'd like some relaxing. Okay? All right, guys. And listen, I really feel like that middle of the night stuff with the cramps, I think that's God's way of telling you something super, super important, okay? Camille, same story for your friend, and also I think that probably was Billy, the first question. But just realize that I think that's God's way of saying, get help, don't ignore that, because not having enough magnesium is really bad. And Jasmine, yes, you were supposed to do a cup of raspberry tea the whole time, and then the last trimester, a quart of raspberry tea a day. The reason is it strengthens the uterus. It strengthens it so childbirth is easier. So raspberry tea, raspberry tea, raspberry tea. Okay? And I've got that in print somewhere, Jazz, in that old book out front by the computer. There's a whole bunch that they have to say about the raspberry tea, of when to drink it and when not to. But I can tell you that right now you're supposed to be doing a quart a day. Okay? And you won't mind it. It tastes great. But yeah, raspberry tea with your wonderful stevia, the Cal liquid stevia. Okay. All right. I should have had some questions ready from the ones y'all had left over, but I didn't. Alicia, do you have any more questions from people? Alicia? Well, okay. I'm sorry this is so bad, and probably what happened is a lot of people went in listening to begin with when it was sounding like a Smurf, and the picture was so bad. Did you miss the one about my friend? She has no colon, tons of meds, right arm swells, and turns purple. Oh, bless her heart. Okay. L-glutamine. I said L-glutamine. L-glutamine powder. Specifically, we've got a new one, okay? That's also for the stomach. But is she taking a good probiotic? If this is the same friend that's on the tons of meds, I'm not sure that you're going to get her to take anything, honey. I know you really want her to, but I'm not sure you're going to get her to. Okay, make sure that she's not doing sugar, because of course that is inflammation. Sugar equals inflammation. So make sure that she's not doing any form of sugar, and also that she's drinking enough water. But you know, the probiotic is going to put the good bacteria back, and that's so terribly important. That's super important too. I sure wish I could do my magic magnets on her, but I know that's not going to. And as far as the arm swelling and turning purple, how much water is she drinking? Do you know if she drinks water at all? She should be drinking half of her body weight in water. Okay? I'm wondering, and I don't think this will let me. No, I don't think it'll let me. I was going to say, I think I could go back and look at some of the questions that were sent to me. She takes the Reuteri, is a water drinker, but stays nauseated. Then she must not be drinking enough water. She must not be drinking half of her body weight in water. She must be just drinking a little bit of water, okay? And the Reuteri is a good idea, but is she taking enough of it, or is she taking it like, you know, is she taking it about like, most people take the Reuteri like it says on the bottle rather than the way I say it, okay? She can't be nauseated if she's taking enough water and she's taking the Reuteri properly. She said, can you use those magnets to get this monster to vacate the premises? Sorry, Daz. Sorry, darling. That little boy's going to come when he's ready. But just remember, Uncle Howie liked it in there a long time. That's why I keep saying don't get in too big of a hurry, because you don't want that baby to be born until that baby's ready, okay? But of course, the magnets would help him vacate the premises, since you're not supposed to do the magnets on somebody pregnant, okay? You should have thought of that earlier, baby. You should have thought of that earlier. Camille, is she doing the powdered Reuteri, or is she doing the pills? Do you know what dose she's taking? Okay, Camille, Millie. Camille, her name's not really Camille, y'all, by the way. Speaking of which, where did Tammy go? Okay. All right, y'all, 6 more minutes, and then I'm going to disappear, and then next week y'all better have a gazillion questions for me like you always do. I think that what happened is that people probably tuned in and went, okay, something's wrong. All right. Capsules. She's taking the capsules. Do you know how many she's because that's super important. And the Reuteri is probably not a bad idea, but if she's still nauseated from the Reuteri, you need to get her to get the new guy from me. There's a new one out that I would love for her to be on instead of. Okay? It's Bluebonnets, and it's the only one on the market that is DNA certified, verified. It's the only one that they can tell you exactly where that probiotic came from. It's a single dose, meaning you're only supposed to have to take one, and it is crazy cheap. So how wonderful is that? Less expensive, way, way, way stronger, and you only have to take one. So I love that. Okay? All right, what else? Okay, guys. All right, I'm going to leave early if y'all don't ask another question. I guess I can't leave early. I guess I'm stuck here. So what do I want to talk about? Oh, I could talk about this. It happens to be sitting on my desk. We could talk about this scaler. I know how weird this looks, but y'all need to know that this scaler thing is supposed to block out Wi-Fi and other electromagnetic fields that are damaging our brain. I really, really like this one, and it turns out that it's not cheap. It's like $50, but I tested it against the $150 one, and I think it is superior. If not superior, at least equal, and it's $50. So I feel like, now we don't have Wi-Fi here, which of course is why my Facebook would not upload or download, whatever you say, upgrade, but because I have to have Wi-Fi. But our computers are actually hard plugged, but when you go into restaurants and everywhere, you're getting all that Wi-Fi in your head all the time, and of course you're getting it on your cell phone. I try really hard not to put the phone up to my head, but of course I do. So it's super important that you keep a scalar on all the time. I find that heavy metal toxicity frequently. I find it frequently in people when I'm doing the magnets on them, but I especially found it in Dallas. I mean, it's everywhere. Look at how that's making my nose shine, all because of that light. Alex told me not to do that. Jasmine's saying it improves mood too. You know, Jasmine, I forgot about that. Camilla, your scalar lasts forever, or if it doesn't, I don't know that, and I have not heard that. I can tell you that I've had mine on for maybe 3 years. So I'm proud of you, Camille. Make sure Billy's wearing his too. Jasmine, I forgot that you said that the scalar really improved your mood. I forgot that another young person told me that it gave them so much energy. And I guess I'd just take it for granted because I keep it on all the time. But I will tell you, don't go through the airport with it on. Definitely don't go through the airport with it in your bra. They think you're up to something. What can I say? So now I always make sure I take my scalar off. But I can tell you that I think scalars are super important. And the fact that I keep finding that heavy metal on so many people, I think it's an issue for everyone. Okay? And Camille, that's a really good question. I'll get Alicia to contact that company and find out how long it lasts. I thought it was forever. I never once thought about that we would need to replace the scalars, or maybe we need to put it out in the sun or something. I don't know, but that's a super fantastic question. I will try to find it out before Billy needs to wear 10 if it helps. Obviously, Billy is not reading or listening to Facebook right now. Make sure, and I remember putting Billy on the dopamine serotonin. I think it was straight serotonin then. But now I've got dopamine serotonin, which would be good for him, better for him than just serotonin. And that dopamine serotonin, I could not have come up with it had I not had shingles on the face. So the bottom line is that God really is true to his word when he says he takes everything the enemy meant for evil and he uses it for good. So if that's true, then even shingles on my face was for good. And I sat down and made a list out of all the things that had come out positive out of me having shingles. And one of the things was I developed this new product, dopamine serotonin, because of it. That could not have happened had I not had shingles. So what does that tell you? That even though I'm sure the enemy meant it for evil, that God's promised it for good. So either everything he said is true, or nothing he said was true. So, I think everything he said was true, and I know y'all do too. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Save your questions up for next week, and Camille, I'm going to have an answer for you. God bless you, and thank you for talking. Bye-bye.